everybody, how's it going? Today I'm in the UK checking out some epic supercars with my good friend Shmee150. Shmee, where are we?
So today we're visiting Superventura, an amazing supercar dealership here, and taking a look at this, a Pagani Zonda F Coupe. One of just 25 cars, manual gearbox, and we're also going to do some commentary about the car over on my channel, but over to you for your in-depth review.
So this is going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the Zonda F. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip, and go over the performance data, and show you many of the unique aspects of both the interior as well as exterior. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on in, start it up, and let it run. The Zonda is entirely hand-built using a wide spectrum of exterior and interior colors, exposed carbon fiber bodywork, and the highest quality of materials. The doors open traditionally versus the Huayra's gull-wing design, but are still released by a small toggle lever within the handle pocket. This example is finished in balloon white, a pearl effect finish featuring a black diamond quilted leather interior amongst structural high-gloss carbon fiber and milled aluminum components. You can start the Zonda two different ways, either via the traditional ignition cylinder or push-button ignition via a red button on top of the shift lever. It's not a true keyless ignition system, so even if you use push-button, you still have to put the key in and turn the vehicle's power on. The Zonda F features hydraulically assisted, speed-proportional rack and pinion steering that's routed through a beautiful 3-spoke Nardi steering wheel. It blends a flat-bottom design with satin aluminum spokes, hand-finished wood for a decidedly old-school vibe, and high-quality perforated leather to either side. No multifunction controls, just grip bolsters at 10 and 2. Clean and simple without any distractions. It sends 7.3 liters of raw Mercedes-AMG power to the rear wheels through a 6-speed manual transmission, along with a twin-disc clutch and self-locking differential. The T907F gearbox in the Clubsport is an upgraded unit compared to the standard setup for crisper shifts and added strength to handle the engine's increased output. The shift knob and e-brake are milled from aluminum with titanium rivets, incorporating more of that beautiful wood to match the steering wheel. So, let's go and flip on the headlamps, front and rear fog lamps, as well as the hazards. Your power windows are located in the center console by aluminum toggles. And we'll go ahead and check out the exterior. Earlier this year, we were extremely fortunate to be able to go in-depth with the Pagani Huayra, one of the most incredible supercars I've ever been in. Anyone familiar with the brand knows their unique philosophical approach to automotive design has led to a different breed of supercar, passionately designed and hand-built by a relatively small group of individuals near Modena, Italy. If you ever get the chance to see one up close, only then can you truly appreciate why they're so special considering the level of detail instilled into each car. They're also incredibly rare. Unlike the Huayra, the Zonda was never sold in America. Understandably, I never thought I'd have the chance to film one, let alone filming one a few months after uploading the Huayra. Horacio Pagani, the founder of Pagani Automobili Modena, has created a supercar lineup that can only be described as pure automotive art, not only in regards to styling, but how those styling cues work together to shape the wind around it. Introduced back in 1999, the Zonda C12 was the company's first supercar. Over the years, there have been numerous derivatives and special editions of the Zonda, from roadsters to race cars, solidifying Pagani as one of the last independent car manufacturers that still builds cars in the classic way of doing things. The Huayra continues the Zonda's legacy as a fully modern successor for the next generation. The Zonda F was first introduced back in 2005, inspired and designed as a tribute to Horacio's longtime mentor, F1 champion Juan Manuel Fangio. Fangio was instrumental in the C12's development back in the 90s and was the driving force behind the implementation of the Mercedes-AMG V12 engines, amongst other various aspects. The car was initially set to be named after Fangio, but with his passing in 1995, it was decided that the car would be called the Zonda, inspired by the Zonda wind, a regional term to describe a certain air current that passes over Argentina, Horatio's home country. The Zonda F is an evolution of the Zonda C12S 7.3, which was an evolution of the original C12. Compared to its predecessor, about 60% of the components used are new, including updated exterior elements such as the 3-unit carbon fiber headlamp clusters, a more defined center nose contour, and elongated wing mirrors, the latter of which was inspired by a woman's eye, and a styling cue that's since been passed on to the Huayra. The F was the first car to display, upon the customer's request, exposed carbon fiber bodywork. With the revised styling, the Zonda F also benefited from improved aerodynamic properties. Up front, the carbon fiber air splitter is longer than before, complemented by a new diffuser out back to channel air more effectively. Both elements work to increase downforce. A new single-piece rear spoiler replaces the previous two-piece design for added downforce and reduced drag. The wing has a 15% range of adjustability depending on how much downforce you desire. The vents you see on top of the front wheel arches reduce positive pressure in the wheel wells, helping draw the front end closer to the ground at higher speeds. Underneath the rear spoiler, there's a pair of gurney flaps on the trailing edge of the clamshell to smooth air traveling under the spoiler. At 300 km per hour, or 186 miles an hour, the Zonda F puts down about 600 kilograms, or 1,323 pounds of total downforce. Amazing! Which is said to be double that of the C12, but with reduced drag. Around 595 pounds of the total downforce is applied to the front, while the other 728 pounds resides over the rear. In addition to more power, the Clubsport, like we have here, features a lightweight titanium sports exhaust system and even more aerodynamic body elements to keep things planted on the track. New asymmetric wheels measure 19 by 9 inches in front, with larger and wider 20 by 13 inch wheels in the rear, forged from a combination of aluminum and magnesium alloy. Compared to the C12S, they're larger by 1 and 2 inches respectively to allow for the use of carbon ceramic brakes. They're wrapped in specifically developed Z-rated Michelin Pilot Sport 2 tires, 255/35s in front and 335/30s in the rear, the same rubber compound used on the Porsche Carrera GT. It's able to pull up to 1.4 G of lateral acceleration, and traction control is standard. Taming the insane performance, the Clubsport features standard 15 by 1.3 inch cross-drilled and internally ventilated carbon ceramic Brembo disc brakes at all 4 corners, the same brakes found in the Ferrari Enzo. They're clamped down by beefy monoblock calipers, 6 piston units in front and 4 piston units in the rear, able to bring the car to a stop from 62 miles an hour in a hair over 2 seconds or 124 miles an hour in 4.4 seconds. Drag coefficient drops from 0.39 in the C12S to 0.37 in the F. It also rides 10mm lower and features stiffer suspension tuning. Pagani claims the F shaves over 100 pounds of weight compared to its predecessor. Opening either the front or rear clamshell is a 2-person job. When the doors are closed, you'll see partial leather straps that lead to belt buckles within the door jambs. These have to be undone before you press the metal release buttons on either side of the car. The buckles aren't going to add much to structural integrity, but it's one of the coolest details I've ever seen on a car. Very old school. From the brilliant carbon fiber work to the highly detailed mechanical components, everything is proudly on display as if it were meant to be a rolling automotive art gallery. The sections of body, as expected, feel quite lightweight. It doesn't take much effort to open or close them. Closing can be done by one person while simultaneously engaging the primary locks to secure the clamshell, the ones we release by the metal buttons. At this point, you can refasten the buckles for that final touch of awesome. At the Zonda's core, you'll find a high-strength and lightweight carbon fiber central monocoque that combines some non-structural elements within the tub to limit the use of seemingly ancillary components. For example, the structures of the dash-mounted air vents are formed directly into the tub, negating the use of extra tubing or ductwork for the ventilation system. This creates a far cleaner and simpler design for less weight. The Zonda F's weight savings begin with a modified 3D carbon fiber weave pattern for the passenger cell that shaves 26.5 pounds without any loss in strength or rigidity. It contributes to a torsional rigidity of 27,000 Newton meters per degree of twist, an increase of 1,500 Newton meters compared to the C12. Development of the carbon fiber body panels also benefited from similar weave patterns. Redesigned engine components, which we'll highlight in just a bit, save even more weight. Bolting up to the tub are chromoly steel front and rear subframes, a type of steel alloy that combines chromium and molybdenum, a significantly stronger and more rigid material than steel. A new, thinner tubing profile for the Zonda F shaves a little under 20 pounds. The subframes cradle many of the vehicle's vital components, including the powertrain and race-bred forged double wishbone suspension and pushrod-actuated inboard O-lens dampers. The hybrid gas-hydraulic dampers can be adjusted 15 different ways with bounce and rebound based on the customer's taste in driving behavior. Rather than being controlled electronically through a button like many modern cars, the adjustments on the Zonda, including the steering and brakes, have to be done mechanically. From the outside, it's easy to assume the Zonda didn't have much in terms of cargo space. However, when you look a little bit deeper, there's a number of clever storage solutions that make it more accommodating and livable than your typical supercar. Like the Huayra, customers could opt for a custom set of fitted luggage, including a suit hanger that would hang behind the seats. Overall, I believe it's a very similar setup as the Huayra's 7-piece Shidoni luggage set. Of course, the luggage would be tailored to match the color of your leather and decorated with carbon fiber, titanium bolts, and aluminum detailing. The two largest pieces, one for each passenger, store snugly within 2 carbon fiber compartments to either side of the engine bay. The compartments are lined with diamond quilted leather. You have to lift the clamshell to gain access, which could pose a potential issue of traveling alone, and a smaller bag can be placed behind the seats, where there's small parcel shelves and leather pockets for more slender items. The Zonda F is powered by a hand-built, all-aluminum 7.3-liter Mercedes-AMG M120 V12, the same mill found in the C12S 7.3, but with a number of revisions to substantially increase the engine's output. It features dual overhead cams, 4 valves per cylinder, titanium connecting rods, a compression ratio of 10:1, and a 7,000 RPM redline. The two primary changes are a set of hydroform intake and exhaust manifolds for decreased weight and greater efficiency. The intake manifolds are made from aviation-grade aluminum that's just 1mm thick. They're polished, mirror finish, and create one of the engine bay's main focal points. The exhaust manifold, on the other hand, is made from 0.7-inch thick nickel-rich Inconel steel that's then coated in a ceramic layer to minimize exhaust temperatures. Gases are sent through a titanium F1-style exhaust system through Pagani's signature center-mounted quad exhaust tips. Like the intake, the revised geometry allows exhaust gases to be dissipated more efficiently while carrying a third of weight compared to the previous manifolds. They not only add to the overall heat resistance, but help decrease weight in the F. In its standard form, the Zonda F develops 602 PS or 594 brake horsepower, 6,150 RPM, and 561 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM, allowing it to accelerate to 62 miles an hour in about 3.6 seconds before flying past 124 miles an hour in 9.8 seconds, up to a top speed of over 215 miles an hour. When equipped with the Clubsport package, modified camshafts are added, along with further tuning to the intake system and electronics, to raise power to 650 PS or 641 brake horsepower, while torque is raised to 575 pound-feet. As you may have seen, the rear clamshell features a number of ducts for the engine intake and compartment cooling. The NACA ducts above the wheel arches channel air to a carbon fiber collector that sits above the gearbox. Overall length is 174.6 inches with a width of 80.9 inches and a height of 44.9 inches, riding on a 107.5-inch wheelbase. Total curb weight is around 2,712 pounds with a distribution of 46% in front and 54% in the rear. Like the exterior, the interior of the Zonda boasts many unique styling elements that tie in classic craftsmanship with a fully modern aviation-themed cockpit. Everything that isn't wrapped in the highest quality leathers is either finished in aluminum, titanium, or glossy carbon fiber, especially with the carbon fiber doors highlighted by leather padding, built-in grip handle, and titanium bolts. There's no additional storage pockets built into the panels though like you would find in the Huayra. The Huayra's gull-wing doors are notably absent here in favor of more traditional openings. Climbing in is relatively easy once you navigate the high sills. Pagani wanted the leather to evoke a soft feel that was reminiscent to a high-end lady's handbag, but had the durability to be sat in for the long term. Naturally, the seat structure is made of carbon fiber, and while not super plush, they're really quite comfortable in terms of overall body and lateral support. Manual adjustments consist of sliding and recline in addition to height or thigh support via the small aluminum knob in the bottom cushion. You can see some of the high-gloss exposed carbon fiber on the back. The headrests are fixed with an embossed logo. Plenty of diamond quilting stitching all throughout adds a very luxurious touch. Behind the seats is where you can put a couple of the optional pieces of luggage we talked about earlier. Otherwise, there's small leather storage pockets, and not to mention a storage cubby underneath the signed number plate. Leather accents the center console, portions of the dash, and the windshield frame. You'll also notice the floor mats are finished in diamond quilted leather, you have aluminum sport pedals down below, and a tinted glass roof allowing some natural sunlight into the interior. The instrument cluster is new for the Zonda F, milled from aluminum with a carbon fiber backing. The design is meant to emulate a finely crafted watch. You have your speedometer and tachometer front and center, vehicle temperature and fuel up top, oil pressure and oil temperature in the bottom, with your warning lights off to the far right. You have your clock set, raising and lowering of the pneumatic suspension to clear speed bumps and the like, and to mention LED shift lights for high-performance driving. The rest of the interior is really simple actually. There's not a whole lot going on in terms of technology or convenience features. I mean, you have your basic creature comforts, automatic air conditioning in the middle, and a premium audio system, but everything really lies within the details. You have these toggle switches across the middle for front and rear fog lamps, defroster, interior lighting, and hazards. Your power mirror controls can be found in the center console. Other dash features include 2 large storage pockets at the outer edges and more belt buckle detailing. Truth be told, it's a pretty roomy interior and the visibility seems excellent. There's a lot of glass and I especially like the tinted glass roof. There's interior illumination and a manually adjusting steering column. So now let's go ahead and see if she sounds.
Well guys, I hope you enjoyed Kyle's in-depth video here at Super Vettura with the Pagani Zonda F.
For more commentary, go check out Shmi150's video. It can be found in the description box below. Take care, guys. Good enough. Yes!